of this, as far, very successful Sarajevo Business Forum. We're going to wait a bit more. Are you ready to make another cooperation, Mr. Bukvic? Depends on, will your partner show up? He's coming. Please welcome His Excellency Datuk Nur Amar Abu Bakar, joining Mr. Bukvic. Thank you for being with us. Nice to see you both. By your smiles, I see you ready to sign Memorandum of Understanding. This is a very significant moment of the conference. As I said before, read it carefully. Bravo. Please support this new contract with a big round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Bukvic. Thank you, Your Excellency. And congratulations. It's a great news. Congratulations for this newly established cooperation. I hope this will bring benefits for both Malaysia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll proceed with the third round table. It's Malaysia and Bosnia and Herzegovina Roundtable B2B session exploring and connecting. I would like to ask His Excellency Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Mohamed Redjuan Yusuf, Minister of Entrepreneur Development, to take lead of this roundtable. We need a break. Okay. How long? How big? Couple of minutes? Okay. So relax. Maybe we can breathe in, breathe out. Okay, while we have this break, I'll use the opportunity to invite everybody outside, since they can hear me, thanks to technology, to join us in this conference room. We're going to have very interesting third and the last for today round table in this conference room. I really hope that you enjoyed today in our presentations room, that you used opportunity for B2B meetings, and that you managed to visit sponsors' booths. This is actually a new thing within Sarajevo Business Forum. That is how we provide better service for our sponsors, but for all of us, for all Sarajevo Business Forum participants, to make more business partners and to make more business meetings. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to everybody joining us. We're about to start in a couple of minutes. I need the main person, my moderator, His Excellency. I've been told we needed a break. Thank you, guys. Once again, congratulations to all this wonderful stuff and the whole big team and many volunteers around the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum. So I also used the opportunity while we're waiting to inform you that this is actually the last part of this day of the 10th Sarajevo Business. Don't forget to put the mic on. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We're still together tomorrow with interesting presentations and interesting program in general. So I hope to see you tomorrow in Hotel Hills as well. Have you already downloaded a free SBF app? This is a good chance to remind you again. You can find it via iTunes or Google Play Store. You just need to search for Sarajevo Business Forum, as simple as that. Okay, perfect, perfect. We need 5 more minutes. Thanks a lot for your patience. In a couple of minutes, we'll welcome His Excellency Young Barhomat Datuk Seri Mohammed Redwan Yusuf, who's going to take lead of the following roundtable. Very warm welcome to all panelists and participants that are joining us. So as I've been just informed, there are currently some really big and important talks between minister and Bosnia and Herzegovina government and institutions and company representatives. So that's the reason valid, I hope so, for him being late. He will join us in a couple of minutes. You can talk, you can relax, okay? I will let you know when it's time to start. Sorry. Yeah, we can make jokes too. Okay, we're ready now for Malaysia and Bosnia and Herzegovina Roundtable B2B session exploring and connecting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Mohammed Redjuan Yusuf, Minister of Entrepreneur Development. He's gonna take lead of the following roundtable, exploring this topic with our great panelists and participants. Welcome, Your Excellency. Shall we start? Very warm welcome. I already announced you. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I have to speak now or what?
Yes, you can start now.
Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, I guess. I hope everybody, and I think everybody was patient enough to wait for me. I was pulled away for another session, unscheduled stop next door from two companies. It was very useful, informal discussion as far as we are concerned as Malaysian. And first of all, I wish to thank you for inviting me here. Give me great pleasure to share what we have or what plans we have in so far developing entrepreneurs in the context of small and medium enterprise in Malaysia. I think there are a lot of Malaysian companies here, and most of them are participating in the halal exhibition, and there are also SMEs here that are showcasing what they can do in Bosnia, and I understand some of them has already got some advanced discussion as far as B2B is concerned, and I'll welcome any questions with regard to government policies, with regard to any sort of incentive available from the country, from the government, and see whether we can coexist in any development that we want to embark, both in Malaysia as well as in Bosnia. Now I want to welcome you all in this roundtable. In the name of the government of Malaysia, I extend my pleasure to be here for today's roundtable. We have many companies, as I said, and all of them are welcome to give their contribution, both Malaysian and Bosnian. We have a long way to go insofar as try to achieve to the next stop of our journey, and we have ourselves created roadmaps, or rather design a roadmap, and today I think the level of our collaboration in terms of bilateral trade has yet to be explored in fullest, and I think our balance of trade is still in favor of Bosnia, and it's still too small. And I think this kind of forum, to take advantage of the annual event, the Sarajevo Business Forum, we can use this roundtable discussion to explore further, to see how we can enhance the level of trade that we had experienced so far to a bigger scale, to the next level, to a higher level. In terms of number one is the already established link between Malaysia and Bosnia in terms of what can be traded, what can be sold, what can be bought between the two countries. And we need to understand better among ourselves how far we want to go. So there are basic things that we need to address between the two countries, and we'll bring back to the government to perhaps refine our policy, to refine our way of doing business so that we are friendly enough to attract investment from Bosnia to Malaysia, and also knowledgeable enough to export our product, our expertise, technical know-how into Bosnia, and to take advantage of the vast market in Eastern Europe, in Southeast Eastern Europe, as well as the greater EU, and use Bosnia, hopefully, as the gateway for many different products we both that's going to develop using both country expertise. Now today, I must thank Mr. Amir, Encik Amir, I call it Encik, Mr. Amir Zukic, Government of Federation of Bosnia, Herzegovina, Federal Minister of Development, Entrepreneurs, Information and Crafts, Mr. Amir. And we have Datuk Sri Kani bin Daud, Islamic Tourism Center, Ministry of Tourism and Arts and Culture Director General, which is from Malaysia. Here to see. Datuk Shamir bin Abdul Aziz, Amanah Kita Malaysia. And where is Madam, siapa nama tu? Jun. Jun is not on the round table. And we have Mr. Murshad Jasar Sfik, President of the Chamber of Economy, Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Next to Mr. Mirza, okay. Nur Azmi Said. Nur Azmi Said. He's not on the table, but he's the Chief Executive Officer of the SME Corporation Malaysia. Mr. Chris Gabriel, Chairman Gabriel Holdings, CEO of Fly Bosnia. Oh, that's you. Okay. I didn't see you there. Mr. Vedat Halilovic. Yes, the big, where's your entrepreneur of the year? Is that ES also, right? He's not here. Huh?
In Croatia.
In Croatia, okay. We have Mr. Shamsu Muyezzin, Medimpax Director. Please you meet sir. Okay, Mr. Eldina Muftik, Agriculture. Oh yeah, okay. Agriculture Investment and Management, member of the Management Board. Mr. Valdet Pestalik, the one that we need to engage a lot more for the halal quality certification of Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And Mrs. Amina.
And last one, Mr. Mrs. Amina Shekhalik Falajic from Sis Hotel. Oh, okay. I don't stay in your hotel, I stay at Europa Hotel. Wanted to, but they recommended Europa Hotel than Swiss Hotel. Anyway, I would like to open the roundtable informal discussion, so I welcome anyone can start, but if I want to start, I want to tell you this, that we are serious about establishing stronger relationship with Bosnia. This is encouraged by our Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir. He has given me the word, make sure you bring big contingent into Bosnia Herzegovina and explore a lot more that we have done in the past. But one thing for sure, we have Fly Bosnia here. To do that, we need to have established a good link between the two countries. Yeah? We need to establish good link. In other words, in order for us to enhance our cooperation, in order for us to increase our trade from the existing around $3 million, which is very small, I suggest we need to have a direct linkage. So we want to hear from Fly Bosnia whether they share the same aspiration as we do. Number two, we will definitely want to collaborate with Bosnia in view of the standard that's established for halal certification. And I'm going to Kazan early next week to participate in the OIC ministerial meeting to drive the halal industry in a practical way, so that we both can benefit from the huge potential as far as halal market is concerned. So we want Dr. Mahathir wants to champion this to the next level, and we want JAKIM to be involved with us in terms of regulating it and trying to consolidate our effort to see the same universal standard in the names of International Standard Organization so that we can hold one certificate. It's not easy. We have a different certification bodies around the world. And by consolidating our effort, for example, if Malaysia and Bosnia and Herzegovina can champion this, we can move it together and we can establish a closer relationship so that we can move as one unit to champion the whole world in terms of certification. Number two, we've been talking to a number of parties over the last 2 days. There seems to be echoing about wanting to participate with Malaysia in terms of what the Prime Minister Mahathir wants to do, to rejuvenate the automobile industry in Malaysia, more towards using aerospace technology, more towards using artificial intelligence, more towards looking at innovations, more looking towards collaborating with different experts around the world. We are identifying strategic partners. We are identifying good quality companies to set up operations either here or in Malaysia, depending which market that makes sense, which market we are going for. For example, just to give an idea, we are talking to the eastern part of Malaysia, or rather the eastern part of Asia, to collaborate in terms of adopting technology for ERV, extended range vehicle. We are looking at potential strategic partners in part of Europe to see whether we can develop using the skill set that we have in the country to have another development, what we call a full electric vehicle, as everybody in the world is looking at using or rather adopting EV, clean environment, which have what we call sustainability. When you talk about try to control the emission that affect ozone, and therefore we want to be a contributing party to the global impact in terms of climate control. So we are heading toward that direction. Malaysia is heading toward that direction, and we welcome participation in terms of utilizing our expertise, in terms of if you have the research and development and intellectual property that we can share, we are open to that. So other areas we are looking at, of course, is, as I said in some of the earlier discussion with some of the strategic units in Bosnia, Malaysia currently is basically a net importer of food. Yeah? We are ranked number 41 in the world as far as food security is concerned. We are looking for technology. In Malaysia, for example, the weather is not conducive for open farming. And people doesn't like to work in hot weather. So if you can help us in terms of your expertise in the area of adopting farming techniques, we will welcome that, especially greenhouse technology, fertigation. We will welcome your participation in Malaysia. Malaysia has got good weather, although it's humid, but I'm sure Bosnians will enjoy or are enjoying good weather in Malaysia rather than the cold weather in this part of the world. I enjoy the weather here, I must say, only during this period, of course, during winter. And yes, these are those areas that we are looking at. So I'd like to open this general forum, an open forum, for you to tell us, to give me feedback so that I can take home and try to form a framework how Bosnia and Malaysia can collaborate more. All right? So I would like to invite Mr. Amir first, give the honor to say a few words, if you may. Thank you, sir.
Ja ću se prvo izviniti, moj engleski nije dovoljno dobar da bi se obratio na engleskom, ali tu je, evo, gospođa Ida da pomogne i nadam se da današnji rad na našem okruglom stolu. Dakle, prije svega želim da vas sve pozdravim u ime Federalnog ministarstva razvoja, poduzetništva i obrta, na čijem sam trenutno čelu. Pozdrave prije svega upućujem gospodinu ministru i svim našim gostima iz bratske Malezije, kao i svim ostalim učesnicima, i koristim priliku da čestitam organizatorima 10. Sarajevo Biznis Foruma na zaista uspješno organizovanom forumu koji će, nadam se, iznjedriti dosta novih poslovnih prijateljstava i dosta novih mogućnosti stvoriti za privredu Bosne i Hercegovine da ide bržim i krupnijim koracima naprijed u odnosu na period sada.
I want to greet everyone and thank you for your participation. I want to thank His Excellency the Minister for visiting this event and taking lead on this for this visit, as well as all of the other distinguished guests and companies who took part in this event. I also want to thank the organizers for this event and for this opportunity to organize this roundtable and the opportunity to, in the name of the Federal Ministry of Development and Entrepreneurship of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, to explore all of the fields for cooperation between our two countries and our companies.
Posebno hvala ministru na ovom uvodnom izlaganju gdje osjetim da postoji zaista jedno istinsko opredjeljenje da odnose između firmi iz Malezije i firmi iz Bosne i Hercegovine dignemo na jedan znatno veći nivo.
I want to express my gratitude especially to His Excellency the Minister, and I hope through this roundtable to explore ways in how we can upgrade our existing cooperation to a higher level.
I u tom pravcu ja ću pokušati kratko da vidim, da kažem i viziju gdje vidim ovo ministarstvo kao određenu konekciju koja bi trebala da pomogne razvijanju tih odnosa.
In regard with this, I will present here a few visions that from the Ministry of Development and Entrepreneurship in how we can go on with this common strategy for the two countries.
Za početak malo statističkih podataka.
For the beginning, a few statistical information.
Dakle, Federacija Bosne i Hercegovine ima otprilike oko 22.000 malih i srednjih preduzeća i oko 50.000 obrta, što čini otprilike nekih 60% ukupnog prihoda. 60%.
At the moment, the Federal Ministry has around 22,000 small and medium companies and 50 micro companies that it contributes to 60% of the overall income.
Misija ovog ministarstva je obezbeđenje pretpostavki za brži rast i razvoj sektora malih i srednjih preduzeća i obrta.
Our mission is to develop ways in how to accelerate the development of small and medium and micro companies.
I tu prije svega kroz institucionalni okvir, znači određene zakone koji regulišu ovu oblast i kroz određene subvencije koje treba da obezbijede određene financijske podrške, bilo da se radi o grantovima ili da se radi o povoljnim kreditnim sredstvima.
In regard with this, we think about institutional mechanisms in terms of how to develop policies that are required to enhance this strategy and how to introduce substitutions and other financial measurements such as microcredits or grants on how to help those companies to develop.
Ja ću se danas fokusirati samo na one momente vezane za mogućnosti buduće saradnje prije svega i malezijske države i povezivanja određenih privrednih subjekata iz Federacije Bosne i Hercegovine i Malezije.
I will just focus on a few moments, on a few aspects about the future cooperation for Bosnian and for Malaysian companies.
Dakle, mi smo kao jedan od strateških pravaca u narednom periodu odredili da ulažemo napore u poboljšanje regulative vezane za poslovnu infrastrukturu.
One of our strategies encompasses the strategic goal of developing regulations for business infrastructure.
Tu prije svega mislimo na poslovne zone, zatim na druge potporne institucije koje su potrebne razvoju malog i srednjeg poduzetništva, dakle prije svega na naučno-tehnološke parkove, na hubove, na akceleratore i druge vidove potpore razvoju malog i srednjeg poduzetništva.
In terms of that, we think about directive business zones, but also other supporting zones that are required in order to support this development and acceleration of companies, such as accelerators, such as incubators, scientific technology, and other spheres.
Mi smo upravo u fazi izrade određene zakonske regulative i stvaranje digitalne platforme koja bi obezbijedila sve relevantne podatke za sve anonimne investitore i olakšala ulaganje u Federaciju Bosne i Hercegovine.
At the moment, we are in the process of developing regulations and policies and the implementation of a digital platform. So we have a platform for investments and tracking of investments.
Mislim da je ovo oblast gdje bi Malezija mogla nama pomoći kroz svoje pozitivne prakse da nam pomogne u uspostavi ovog novog sistemskog modela koji pokušavamo napraviti.
In this regard, we see Malaysia as a ideal partner, so we can learn from their good practices and from their knowledge in order to introduce the most positive experience to our platform.
Drugi oblik saradnje gdje vidim velike mogućnosti jeste da mi kao vlada, odnosno ministarstvo, ulažemo svake godine određena sredstva za prije svega formiranje novih kompanija, dakle stimulišemo razvoj startupa.
In terms of this, a second point is also the introduction of new grants and financial measurements in order to support the establishment of new companies, so so we can flourish startups.
Zatim razvoj inovacija i dovođenje od inovacije do proizvoda.
Then development of innovation and bringing innovation into implementation.
I stimulišemo jačanje konkurentnosti malih i srednjih preduzeća kroz zajednička ulaganja u inoviranje tehnologije i povećanje broja zaposlenih.
Through common efforts, we see also we want to use this in order to empower small companies.
Sve su to perspektivne i brzo rastuće kompanije ili kad su u pitanju inovacije i startupe, one koji će to biti.
These are all very perspective and promising companies and in terms of who they are and who they are able to become.
Ono gdje bi mi mogli biti adresa za saradnju jeste da pružimo sve relevantne informacije potencijalnim partnerima iz Malezije koji žele da naprave zajednički posao sa tim vrstama firmi. Obično su to znači firme koje su brzo rastuće i koje su zainteresovane vjerojatno za ulaganja, zajedničko osvajanje tržišta i zajednički razvoj novih tehnologija.
In terms of this, our institution is able to act as a platform for information sharing for those companies from Malaysia who are interested in such companies, so they can have joint effort and conquer new markets.
I posljednje što bih htio reći, a gdje mislim da bi također mogla biti jedna dobra saradnja u perspektivi, a to je obrazovanje gdje imamo i mi problem sa usaglašavanjem potreba privrede i onog šta imamo kad je u pitanju obrazovni proces. Tako da određeni alternativni vidovi obrazovanja prilagođeni potrebama privrede, prije svega usmjereni na praktična znanja, su nešto što bi također bilo poželjno da te modele koje je Malezija primijenila usvojimo i mi ovdje, odnosno nadogradimo ovo već što smo postojeće ustanovili kao modele.
Another challenge that all of us have is the educational system in terms of the challenges of the current educational system to meet the demands of the economy and the markets and the introduction of alternative ways of gaining knowledge and education so that we can learn from good practices from Malaysia that we can implement here to meet market demands.
Ja još jednom zahvaljujem gostima na njihovim namjerama i željama da nam pomognu. Također, još jednom da ponovim, znači mi smo zaista spremni za jednu svestranu saradnju.
I want to thank once again our guests and to express our sincere gratitude and our willingness to establish a long-lasting cooperation.
I mogu obećati da će ovo ministarstvo staviti sve svoje resurse i kadrovske kao i određenu informatičku podršku koja bi bila nužna da se određene konekcije uspostave na raspolaganje, tako da ja se nadam da ćemo od danas zaista i uspješno sarađivati.
What I can promise is that we are very willing and that we are offering all of our resources, human as well as information systems that we are having in order to foster this cooperation between our two countries.
What I want to add, thank you very much, Mr. Amir Zukic, for giving us the insight of Bosnian government And I must say that I need to give some statistics to you in terms of where we will be, what we want to be. Number one, in terms of my role as a Minister of Entrepreneurial Development, we are moving towards a new direction in terms of trying to shape up the environment to grow entrepreneurship, to become more globally competitive, to have a better discipline, to have result-orientated, and they have to be well educated. So we have a lot of institutions in Malaysia that will be given the trust and mandate to reshape the culture as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. Now, we also, under the ministry in Malaysia, we have an agency that what we call MAGIC. You talk about innovation, Mr. Amir. You talk about incubation. You talk about giving the opportunity for young entrepreneurs particularly to enhance their visibility, their contribution to the nation's economic growth. Malaysia today, from the perspective of SME numbers, we are contributing about 37% of the economy in terms of GDP, and we are targeting an unprecedented rates of growth to 41% by year 2020. So if you notice, there are a lot of opportunity that is made available. Now, with this, we want to hear from partners like Bosnia. What can we do for you to come into Malaysia? What do we do to encourage Malaysians to go to Bosnia? What kind of exchange can we do to mutually benefit the target or the outcome that I'm talking about? 5% growth over 18 months may sound difficult, but I take it as being a challenge. Now, Mr. Amir mentioned about we are in ideal position. We are in ideal position to use this platform to launch further. And I think as I said, our participation as far as both countries is concerned is still small, and I think there are big opportunity for us to take a quantum leap, a significant increase in our growth between the two countries. And we are very specific of what we want to do, as I mentioned earlier. Now, halal is one, automotive is the other, agriculture is the third one. Exchange of ideas, exchange of innovations is probably one of the agents for us to move together in a greater, what we call it, with a greater motivation to speak, knowing that we have the expertise between the two countries. So SME, for example, we have database of people who wants to come to Bosnia to venture into possible businesses. We have our own cooperative movement, which have members 6.5 million that contribute to about 45 billion in terms of turnover a year, and we are targeting to increase to 50 billion. We are looking at markets where the cooperative can get themselves involved. We have also a few other units in the agency that will facilitate the growth, the growth in terms of the numbers that I was just talking about. So I want to hear from you all. We may want to start with Fly Bosnia. What are their aspirations in terms of providing linkages, whether they got a marker, but I think the Ministry of Entrepreneurship Development in Malaysia work on the basis of what has been mandated by the Prime Minister Mahathir, because we want to see the outcome over the short term, medium term, and long term. So immediate term to me is basically increasing the trade with the existing product and services that are available within the countries. Let us B2B or even G2B or B2G explore this further in a rigorous manner so that we can measure the result very quickly. Yeah? But to do this, as I said, there are enablers that we need to look at. The enablers include, one is the linkages. Two, perhaps creating of a hub. Three, of course, there must be some form of exchange of brains between the two countries. In Malaysia, for example, today we have 50 private institutions of learning that we can explore together in terms of bringing the two the two nations, exchange of students, for example, exchange of trainers, for example. We can utilize these existing facilities in Malaysia. For example, I'm not wrong to say this, to suggest today, for example, we may want to establish a Bosnian Institute of Excellence. Maybe something that we can coin this idea to explore. There are exchanges of views, exchanges of ideas, exchanges of capabilities and expertise in terms of new innovation and so forth. So I'd like to start with the linkage from Sarajevo to Kuala Lumpur, see whether it is feasible or not. Now, without those linkage, it'll give us greater challenge to explore further in terms of enhancing our cooperation between the two countries. Please, Chris Gabriel.
That's great.
It's an angel, right?
That's the one? Yes.
Exactly.
Angel.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's very, very nice to meet you, and I'm very, very passionate about the subject we're talking about. But if I can just address the first point about linkage, anything is possible, there just has to be a will. Yes. So I would like to offer on the table that we do have dialogue on whether we can have a direct linkage. I mean, Fly Bosnia is a niche player, and it is all about direct flights. That's what we focus on.
The national airlines?
Yes, yes it is. Yeah, we carry the national flag of Bosnia, and we are all about direct flights. So I'm very, very happy to discuss either direct flights, code shares, interline agreements with Malaysia Airlines. So we will establish that contact after this and look forward to having that dialogue. But to the topic at hand, it's something I'm very passionate about. I've spent many, many years having worked in 5 continents in the world, and in particular Middle East and Africa. And in some very remote places in Africa are about harnessing talent and leveraging passion. You can teach skills, but you can't teach passion, in my view. And I think if we can explore the opportunity between our educational institutions and look at establishing incubators that are staffed both here and in Malaysia with both Bosnians and both Malaysians in both locations. And we can leverage specific skill sets so we can cross-fertilise knowledge and skills and teach the youth of today. Now there's very, very different levels of incubators that you can have. They can be at the university level, the very early stage, or the established stage. And I think we need to have an approach at those very early levels. In Australia, for argument's sake, I spent a lot of time with universities mentoring very, very smart children or youth.
No wonder you sound like Australian.
Mentoring those youth, and most of the time I find whilst they have a very good technology skill or a very good engineering skill, they lack the marketing skill or they lack the commercialisation or the finance. And if you can get an actual balance of passionate business people working with these young people and giving them those skills, you can actually create a step function change in what they can achieve.
Do you have similar setup like we do in Malaysia, like Magic, where you have the ideation or innovations for that matter?
Yes, we do. Over and above that too, I take it to the next level. Having had a good, successful business in Africa, we actually put together a small fund from business people that have been successful that actually put seed funding into these activities and give them a kickstart with some initial capital for a very small percentage and grow these businesses up. And I think if we can leverage and harness the power of business, harness the passion, and work jointly together with a mix of Bosnian and Malaysian skill, that actually fuels, as a catalyst, much greater success. I'm about doing things.
The fund you're talking about, they're coming from private sector contribution from the government?
Well, it can be. Private sector, to me, is much more successful because you actually have people in that private sector funding that, and so they're more
I'm not referring to commercialization. I'm referring to the incubation period, the seed funding.
Yes.
In Malaysia, there are little government funds that we have. And then when it comes to, when we put them in the sandbox to commercialize, then that's where we will invite high net worth individual or institutions or private sector to come and commercialize at the bigger.
I actually take it down to the lower level and engage commercial very early on.
So you get the private sectors to engage early on.
Correct.
That's something interesting.
It is. It's very successful too.
Okay. That being the case, can I suggest this because you have similar agency? If the ideation start from Malaysia, and we find it difficult to get the seed funding as early as at that stage, do you think it makes sense for us to incubate it in Sarajevo, for example?
Why not? As I say, wherever there's a will, there's possibility.
Okay. Thank you. We'll take that idea home.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right. Any Datuk Sri
Honourable
Abdul
Minister.
Ghani bin Daud. Okay.
Yeah. Since I'm from Islamic Tourism Center and formerly with Tourism Malaysia, I would like to thank for your encouragement for fly Bosnia to come to Malaysia. Remember yesterday, Prime Minister of Malaysia did mention that three elements that we have to look at when we talk about connecting. One is the physical connection, right? So at the moment we don't have any connection directly to Malaysia, but we must thank Turkish Airlines and Emirates that flying from here to Istanbul and 3 times to Kuala Lumpur every day. So these are the areas that we have to look into, and we also are lacking of the sea connectivity for the trade. I just spoken to Aldina about it because Bosnia has a lot of product that can be exported to Malaysia, but how? To fly to Malaysia is very expensive. They have to use Croatia and Slovenia to export. So this is the area, Muhammad Dato'. But another aspect, as far as tourism is concerned, when we have the leakages by air, it will create a smooth traveling for, travelers. We don't like to spend 6 hours, on transit. Luckily, Turkish government just opened Istanbul Grand Airport. So beautiful. So we can spend about 6 hours there. I was from Malaysia by Turkish Airlines. So to connect here, we missed the 7:10 flight. Have to wait 12:10 flight. So these are the issue that we have to look at. And then another thing that I would like to highlight here, when we talk about people-to-people connection, as Prime Minister mentioned yesterday, people-to-people engagement, I think we are lacking in this. From the statistic I can read here, Honourable Minister, to Malaysia from Bosnia last year, it's only 816 Bosnian arrived into Malaysia. So very small number. We're talking about our relation 25 years ago. And to here, we have about 25,000 Malaysians coming into Bosnia last year. So, but from my point of view, since we are looking at the southeastern Europe that has population around 60 million, I reckon, 30 or 60 million, this is a huge opportunity for us to make, as a hub, as Honourable Minister mentioned just now, not only for trade, but also for tourism purposes. This is an area that we have to look. Once we have this connectivity, another aspect that is promotion.
But sounds like 816 arrival into Kuala Lumpur is too small. I mean, to me personally, I think it's not that viable. But I think this, as you said correctly, there must be incentive given. There must be promotions given. Balkan states, 55 million population, 30% are Muslim. So you're talking about the halal, of course, can be grown in that sector. But there must be a comprehensive plan from both sides. If you want to make Sarajevo as the gateway for Balkan states, the southeastern Europe, and I think it makes sense for us to jointly have a campaign to justify the direct linkage. Now, we've got 25,000 arrival into Sarajevo from Malaysia, but it's benefiting Turkey, it's benefiting Dubai, it's benefiting Doha, even maybe benefiting Rome. Yeah, when Malaysia Airlines fly to Rome, at that time flew to Rome, we have connectivity to the Balkan state. So I think there must be a consensus between the two parties. let's, as you said, make it a will. Make it a political will. US, we want to make Sarajevo as the gateway to Balkan state. Then we can narrate that to the community that wants to come to the Balkan state through Sarajevo. If there is a political will to jointly promote this, and I think the viability of Fly Bosnia to do a direct linkage, even with Malaysia Airlines for that matter, AirAsia, Malindo, can be further explored, and hopefully it becomes a reality.
Another aspect, Yang Muhammad, if I may add here, is that both countries must have a lot of marketing promotions, either here or in Malaysia. I think as a government agency that looking after tourism in Malaysia, I think we will be able to help the Bosnian travel agencies to do B2B in Malaysia, so that they would know better about the products here. I had a discussion with a travel agent here in Muhammad, that they wanted to sell this country to Malaysia, of course. Then, but the linkages that we are looking at is very important, because the airfares is one factor that, normally travelers looking at before they travel to a destination.
We may want to bring this idea to take a crazy idea. The Prime Minister has already said, for example, Malaysia Airlines is up for grab as far as takeovers is concerned, right? If, for example, Qatar Investment Authority can have investment of 19% into Volkswagen, for example, if Fly Bosnia has got the appetite, okay, to use Malaysia Airlines, right, to co-invest, to tap the world market through linkages of various states in the Balkan area. Maybe an idea that's crazy enough for us to explore, and Malaysia is looking at so-called white knights as far as Malaysia Airlines is concerned. So to make it a national carrier that have interest from friendly countries like Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's a way to look at it. So in that way, both countries can utilize the expertise, can take advantage of the markets in Europe as well in Asia. So the Bosnian will benefit, the Malaysian will benefit. But again, as you said, there must be a will. The will that I'm bringing to the table is I can bring it to the Prime Minister, like the case of other business model. I mean, as I said, Qatar Investment Authority, for example, they have very little or very small country with small population, and yet they invested into China, they invested into Volkswagen in Europe, they invested into retail in the premium area, retail outlets, retail investment, real estate investment trusts, which we can emulate. Is business we are talking about, beyond the political divides between the borders. So something that we may want to consider, an idea that can be brought, if there are interests from Bosnia to craft out a model that benefit both countries. Yeah?
Okay.
So anything else from the left side of the table? Dato' Azman, Azmi, Nur Azman. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome. My name is Dino Selimovic from the BBI marketing team. I have met with many of you a couple of months back at the Sarajevo Halal Fair. The halal industry has been mentioned a few times, and I want to emphasize an exquisite cooperation we had with the Malaysian side in organizing the Sarajevo Halal Fair 2018 last year, where we had one of the biggest pavilions coming from Malaysia. We have signed an MoU between Sarajevo Halal Fair and MIHAS, Malaysia Halal Showcase. Unfortunately, we were not present in a big number, although we had an opportunity to present Bosnian companies. The Bosnian companies did not see a great interest in presenting themselves to Malaysia, which probably they understand why. They have probably done some analysis. So from that side, I just wanted to introduce the new project which we have, Sarajevo Halal Fair 2019, which will be an expo type of an event. And let us work over the next 5 months. You said you want the growth, you want concrete results. Let's not just finish by talking here. We have 5 months to be very specific, very concrete in trying to enhance these business connections. One of the most successful investments from Malaysia is an investment by Tan Sri Vincent Tan into the Sarajevo Football Club, which inshallah will be champion this year, once again. And I think we can utilize on this, when we talk about business, we need to connect people, we need to connect sports, culture, people need to meet people. And every Malaysian I have met, or most of Malaysians, are very friendly and very aware of what Bosnia is. And also from the Bosnian side, people know what Malaysia, especially your Prime Minister, did for us in the hard times, and we appreciate it. And we have every precondition to make this a very successful cooperation. So in that sense, I would like to give we have many of our BBI VIP Business Club members here who are interested in extending this cooperation. And I would like to invite, if they want to share a few words from the business side, Mr. Vedat Halilovic, who is the Director of Exports at US Holding, which is the largest food producer in Bosnia, and they were awarded by the Sarajevo Halal Fair as the company with most halal certified products. He will give you the number, and also I would like to give the floor next to Ms. Edina from Bosna Plod, or from Zera Agriculture, as they have a huge potential in expanding their business, their productivity, exporting both to Malaysia or establishing a joint venture in Bosnia for exporting into the European market. Maybe we need to think outside of the box in where this cooperation can go through. So maybe Vedat, if the lady doesn't mind, from Bosna Plod. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think before that, may I invite Mr. Mrshad to give a few words. Mr. Chamber of Commerce of Bosnia.
Thank you very much, dear Minister. Your Excellencies, dear Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, my colleagues from Chamber System and other business associations. First of all, I would like to share with all of you, it's my great pleasure because I'm here again in Sarajevo Business Forum. Our Chamber of Commerce all time support this project because they recognize it's a very important model which Sarajevo Business Forum to put all of us every year, one region, one economy, and promote complete region as some potential region for investment, not only Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is one unique international business forum, and I mean absolutely that is the biggest in complete region. In the rule of all of us is that it must be, and in the future, the biggest, and only if we would be in connection all time and try to promote the potential of some of our companies in our membership, to promote your companies all together, that the story can be successful. You mentioned it many times during in your speaking, halal industry, and you mentioned also automotive sector. It is very important, our case activities in last few years in Federal Chamber of Economy and Industry. As you know, in 2015, we organized and established Association of Halal Industry in Federal Chamber of Economy. It is, I mean, unique situation that you have this type of association which directly include in a chamber system in Europe. Our idea was being that we can be the leader in halal business generally in the region, and because specific position of Bosnia and specific connection of Bosnia, that we can be also some kind of corridor to Western European Union, because it's very important to potential that more than 60% consumer of halal food in European Union is not Muslim.
It is very important. Many people in Bosnia also think when we mention halal association, halal industry, they mean only on the religion aspect. Okay, it's it, but it's very important is medical and health aspect. This standard, and we must to promote more and more. This standard is highest, which more level of quality, strong quality, more than all other standards regarding to food industry. It is because health of peoples, it is generally because medicine. In this year 2015, we established association. Here is together with me, my secretary of this association. Mr. Vedat is president of this association, Halal Industry in Chamber of Commerce. And we absolutely sure that connection between your similar association and producer in Malaysia with our association directly, we can try to find together the way to the market of European Union. This is the, oh no, if you try to make comparison between market in Bosnia, Herzegovina and Malaysia in numbers, everything will be funny. You know, we are really small country, we are a small country and small economy. It is true, but also it is true that we have this tradition here, that we are manufacturing country, and that we are on this corridor between East and West. And this chance we had to use. Also, of course, why Chamber of Commerce? Because we recognize that many of these companies already was being in our chamber system, but only in some other association. We put inside also BBI Bank and also Agency for Certification, and also laboratories, faculties. In this stuff, we have all stakeholders which work for halal industry generally. If we want to that in future we have growing up of this association and growing up of policy of halal industry, we must collect all of us in this association, everything, and not only in manufacturing of food, also it is situation is servicing, is hotels, restaurants, and so on, and so on, and so on. Other thing which you mentioned is automotive sector. It's really amazing to know that which is Malaysia industry in that moment in automotive industry. It is really huge potential in east of planets regarding to automotive sector. In future, we expect that everything will be different generally in automotive industry. Bosnia-Herzegovina has the long traditional production of cars, the production of components for automotive industry. Up to war. After war, we only have the company which produce components. But tradition is here, acknowledgement is here, and in that moment, you don't have the European brand of car without some parts from Bosnia-Herzegovina. It is very important, and we recognized before few years ago and collect this all company which already works for automotive sector. We collect them in automotive group in Bosnia-Herzegovina, of course in Chamber of Commerce and Industry Federation Bosnia-Herzegovina. Because that we established a representative office for them in Wolfsburg, in the center of automotive industry in Europe. And we have a strong connection with our partnership in Germany, and because promoted this program of development automotive sector in Bosnia-Herzegovina, which we work together with some supporting of our government, with supporting of USAID. Everyone who recognized our activities for automotive sector was being included in our project. And last year, in a traditional international sub-supplier fair of Volkswagen in Wolfsburg, only Bosnia-Herzegovina was being as country with mutual stand. And during the few days of this international fair in Wolfsburg, our colleagues, our company membership, together with our personnel from Chamber of Commerce, we was being included in presentation and the plans of purchasing department of big Volkswagen Group, what will be in future, what will be with electrical car, what will be with maybe removing development to the purchaser, and so on. And making the biggest activities in logistic and logistic through to this office in Wolfsburg. In last year, we had situation that is complete automotive sector in Bosnia and Herzegovina and growing up more than 5% in all numbers, and employees and contracts and exporting and so on. On the other side, I want that our automotive sector was being connected only with European brands. It's not good if you don't have alternative in life, generally, because that we would like to connect our association of automotive industry with your automotive industry. Maybe in first time we can exchange information regarding developing. We have planned in future to offer maybe our government that we need institute for modernization, for development, like you have in Malaysia. You have in your Malaysian automotive sector, you also have the special institute, Malaysia Automotive Robotic and IT Institute. They work for all of membership for automotive industry. Membership of automotive industry in Malaysia is, I mean, more than 400 companies. Yeah, it's really very big market, a very big potential for cooperation with Bosnian company. Our plan also is regarding to, because we spoke about SMEs, many of our company which is sub-suppliers in this is SMEs. And we want to help to all other company which have capability for working in this very strong standard that can be also in future sub-supplier some components for automotive industry. If our membership in automotive sector can be sub-supplier for Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, also can be for Proton. Proton is very successful story in automotive industry in Malaysia with strong connection, strong developing together story with Mitsubishi and so on. This is some of sample which I have that in future some of our company in automotive industry can collect together and to make good environment that some of the biggest, the world producer of cars, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, or why not Proton can be to put on this place in Balkan region, because we already have the sub-suppliers for that. If you want to prepare a situation that some of big supplier of big producer of cars to come in some country, it's not necessary to get free flat, to big the halls, to find the people which work. You also must to have the networks of sub-supplying. Because that our first step in developing of automotive sector in Bosnia and Herzegovina is prepare these sub-supplying networks in this area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just to respond to Dino from BBI, I want to say this. We are very serious about the halal industry. We want to walk the talk. We are meeting various countries of the world to move this industry together. Number one, we are trying to consolidate, as I said, all efforts in trying to have one united certification. Today, the challenges, for example, if you have product from Argentina that can be accepted by the Saudi, for the Arab country, but they are not accepted in Malaysia simply because they don't have JAKIM certification. So therefore, we need to consolidate our effort to make one apex organization under the International Standard Organization for Halal. This is the challenge that we are trying to overcome. Number two, as you said, walk the talk. We are looking at establishing Malaysia, and we welcome Bosnian participation. We are hastening the pace. We are opening the manufacturing of base ingredient We discussed that last night or the night before with AS Food, that they would want to participate with us because in the world you talk about 450,000 tons of gelatin required for halal food and pharmaceutical as well as cosmetic production. So this basic ingredient must be addressed when you talk about halal. So we are going towards that direction. So that's what, and we're going to do it, as you said, in 5 months. I think the Prime Minister will have the groundbreaking ceremony sometime in June to launch the gelatin product manufacturing in Malaysia. We have other people that will be participating from Australia, from China, from Japan. If any country that is very, very stringent about hygiene, Japan, they want to move all the way to halal. It's not about just the logo halal, it's about hygiene, about the processes. The highest standard in any food manufacturing is halal certification. You go to GMP, you go to ACCP. So therefore, don't delay our so-called our desire to move into the direction. We welcome both parties. The other thing is we want to harvest the low-hanging fruits. If BBI can share data with us, we have a bank in Malaysia that's very, very focused today in trying to develop entrepreneurship into halal industry. They have established trade clubs. Overnight, we know what's the demand. They can even come with funding once they know the marketplace. So they are sharing database through the e-commerce. So this is something that we can collaborate to hasten or to expedite our effort into driving the halal industry for the world. So I will answer to your challenge. 5 months, we'll have some outcome, inshallah. Yeah? But we need to share data. I will matchmake you with another bank in Malaysia, a big bank, who has established called a trade club. They can open the market for Bosnian product to China through the trade clubs. So Malaysia can be the gateway for Bosnian product to a bigger market, to Asian market. Malaysia is only 32 million population. But I must tell you, in Malaysia, in certain states in Malaysia, the halal food is produced by non-Muslim, not Muslim, because they understand the processes. You've got pharmaceutical companies from Japan, they are not Muslim, but they want to process pharmaceutical product the Islamic way. As you said correctly, it's the highest standard that they want to use as far as getting it as a feed to the population of the world. So as I say, I repeat, 7 trillion as World Bank report is the halal market. It's bigger than digitalization in economy with regard to using the tool for digitalization in economy. Digital economy, you talk only about 270 billion US dollars. It's a fraction of 7 trillion. You're talking about fintech in Islamic way. There's so many that we can. And these are the low-hanging fruit that we need to harvest. Malaysia cannot do it alone. Malaysia has got to do it together with countries like Bosnia, which can open to the market to 55 million people in Balkan state, can open further to 1 billion in the greater Europe market. So something that we need to rigorously pursue together. I'm prepared to come back subject to authorization from the Prime Minister. If we have a realistic plan that can yield outcome, I'm sure the Prime Minister will continue to work with Bosnian through whatever ministries that we have in the country, but I want to champion this together with you all. So with that, I want to give an opportunity to ASH to say a few words, because it appears it's the leading company that manufacture a lot of halal product. And after that, Aldina, of course, for the agriculture, right? Yeah, you're in agriculture. Yes. Good. Something that we need to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Last night we had opportunity with our CEO, Mr. Rusmir, to have a meeting with you, and we spoke about potential investment in Malaysia or in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and also about export our products to your market. About physical connection between two countries, now I'm speaking about AS Holding. In last month, we had 2 visits to Malaysia. First visit was Mr. Rusmir's visit to your country, and also meeting with a great friend of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Tun Mahathir Mohamad, and also with you, Your Excellency, and many other companies. And after that, 20 days after that, we have also one team from AS Holding that visited Mihas. And now what we are waiting for orders from Malaysia. Right, okay. I will be very short.
You give us the list. We give the inventory. We are not in business, but we will facilitate. As I mentioned, we've got trade clubs. We've got big market that Malaysian even cannot fulfill.
Of course, we have more than 2,000 products, but I'm speaking just about 1 or 2 products, not all products with capacities, halal products, and also we have here also cameras, and also we have Your Excellency, and your team. And I will be very short. We will try to. We will speak about this potential investment. It's very interesting for us here in Bosnia or in Malaysia, but also this connection we have to expand through exports from Bosnia, and also we are importing from Malaysia right now. Our company imports palm oil and some other products. Also, we are interested in export. We have to start at export. We have these 2 countries, our favorite country in Asia is Malaysia. And we will not talk about, because we know because of what is that. And also we have this connection. We have physical connection in last month, 2 visit. We'll make 3rd. Just to be, when we start with the business, with the export, we'll visit every month, every week or something, and Fly Bosnia will see that it's opportunity to make connection. Thank you very much.
Since he's flying every day, every week, I think Fly Bosnia has got to go to Malaysia. If Fly Bosnia wants to co-invest into Malaysia Airlines, you're welcome. We can study that. But more importantly, as you said correctly, Asian market is big. You've got 2,000 in your inventory as far as halal food is concerned. And I must tell you, today, the Japanese demand in the run-up to the Olympic 2020 is huge. And we cannot fulfill alone. For example, I've got one entrepreneur I mentioned to ASS last night, 2 nights ago. We have entrepreneur in Malaysia that has been asked to supply halal cheese to the Japanese market at the rate of 7 containers a week. We can't produce it. So I understand from ASS, they have a place here in Bosnia that do good cheese, halal cheese. Now halal cheese, a lot of people take for granted. Most of the cheese that you eat today use the enzyme from pig intestine. But there's so many fatwas that allow you. But I think if we have alternative in using enzymes other than pig, why shouldn't we do it? And the market is huge. People in the United Kingdom, people in France, people in Japan are looking for halal cheese. So we have that demand, and yet we are not a cheese producing country. So you can use Malaysia as the gateway to export halal cheese by collaborating with the small entrepreneurs in Malaysia for capacity building, and perhaps to brand it Bosnian cheese, as I said to ESH, Bosnian cheese, but country of origin Malaysia. We can do salads, cheese salads in Malaysia. So therefore, the market in Asia is huge. You've got Indonesia, 250 million Muslim population. In China, you've got close to 100 million Muslim population. But as I said, the market is far bigger than that. It's not about Muslim, it's about hygiene. It's about what you eat. And there's something that we must not miss the opportunity in order for us to prosper as a Muslim community at large. Yeah? So I invite Ms. Eldina to put some comment with regard to agriculture and so on. Yeah?
Thank you very much for opportunity to be here and speak with everyone. And thank you for BBI Bank, because we had opportunity some years ago to connect with your investors. And now we have Zara Agriculture Investment and Management and 2 companies on growing. And we because we're doing in agriculture and food industry, I like to say everyone needs to eat. So investing in the food industry really can make a difference. So I will continue, like Vedat tell, we are really very open to cooperate with some distributors, with some company for Malaysia, and to make that connection. We are ready for that. 80% of our products we selling to Europe, and we are really certified for international standards from IFS, from halal, from organic standard also. And now we thinking about how we can, open new market like Malaysia. I see that possibility, and also we are open for make business-to-business meeting with some very concrete companies. It's open to cooperate with us and for tomorrow. And also I'm open to connect directly with some can give us more information about that market. And I have with me all, list of product, and so it is, I think, enough for this meeting to just tell our opportunities to enhance, to make some connection, and we are really open. Thank you.
So we talk about BBI, we talk about agriculture opportunity, we talk about how we want to drive the halal industry. We talk about trade clubs, the sharing information into market access. We talk about how the Japanese are demanding for hygiene, which is halal product. We talk about our entry into Greater Europe through Balkan states. We talk about automotive, and I'm sure with your views on the automotive sector, I'm not wrong to say I want to recommend the Proton to start exporting into through Bosnia. It's good car, I'm not saying it. The new SUV, and I think if I see some of the cars on the road today, SUV, we call it the X70, will find its way quite easily into this market because they are Proton, but they are assembled partly in Malaysia, some of them in Malaysia, most of it in China. So we are in partnership with Geely. So they got the left-hand drive version, and I'm sure it will be a hit. I'm confident. Because the Prime Minister Mahathir, the first time he tested the car, he quickly bought it. He says, never seen a car that's been built so good in comparison with the BMW, in comparison with even the Porsche, the small SUV. They're not the Cayenne class, but the smaller one. What's that? The Macan, Porsche Macan. And these are the class that I think can penetrate the Balkan state through Bosnia. And I think we can rejuvenate the automobile, or rather the distribution of Proton cars in the Balkan state through Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I take up your views, so to speak, and I bring up to Malaysia, I bring up to the industry so that we can now start to seriously look at Proton coming back into Bosnia, vis-a-vis to the Balkan state. But more importantly, I think the $1 million question that we need to answer here is the linkage. We can't, I think if we don't have physical, so-called contact, interaction between the two countries, the two capitals, it is difficult. The challenge will be, I'm not sure how big is the aircraft can land in Sarajevo for the time being, but I don't know. I mean, we are operating medium-sized aircraft. We can bring this idea to the table in cabinet, for example. The need for us to consider flying direct to Sarajevo, but not necessarily arrival of Bosnian to Malaysia 800 plus. But we need to have a rigorous campaign around the 55 million Balkan state population to use Bosnia as the gateway to the east, perhaps, then we can increase our participation in trades. Yeah? Any other comments from the...
Excuse me. When I mentioned Proton, I mean regarding to situation when the Proton growing up before more years ago in cooperation with Mitsubishi, and in that moment it's absolutely that automotive sector in Malaysia is absolutely independent. This is the most important.
Yes, Mr. Mohammed, you want to say?
Yes, Mohamed Pila. Mogu li ja pričati na našem jeziku?
Evo, ide.
A može Dino prevoditi ta dama da se odmori. Ja predlažem prijateljima iz Malezije da u Bosni i Hercegovini grade ili kupuju fabrike.
Da grade i kupuju.
Ili kupuju, grade ili kupuju fabrike.
Mr. Mohammed Pilav, one of the leading entrepreneurs in Bosnia and Herzegovina, just to have an introduction, and a member of VIP club in BBI and our client. He says a word of advice for our distinguished guests from Malaysia. They should acquire factories and companies in Bosnia.
Zato što se iz naših fabrika može izvoziti u sve zemlje Evropske unije.
Because from factories stationed in Bosnia and Herzegovina, you can freely export to the European Union.
Bez carina i bilo kakvih drugih barijera.
Without any customs or tax barriers.
A u Evropskoj uniji ima isto dosta potrošača halal hrane.
The halal industry in the European Union is also very big and the market is growing by every year.
A mi proizvodimo veoma kvalitetne proizvode iz svih segmenata koji se koriste u cijeloj Evropi.
And Bosnia is known for producing high quality products in all segments of industries which are used and bought in Europe from Bosnia.
A posebno je to bitno zato što su nama najvažnija radna mjesta u realnom sektoru, u prerađivačkoj industriji.
This is very important for the country of Bosnia because for us as a country, the real jobs in the real sector, the industry and manufacturing is what is driving the economy forward.
Toliko, hvala.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Something that I would like to hear. Now, I would like BBI to come up with the list of companies that are open to discussion in terms of in terms of acquisition, perhaps. Yeah, invest into existing companies already exporting into Europe, and we like very much to see that. If you can help list down the companies that are interested to attract Malaysian investment. I must say, we have made available to SMEs in Malaysia under the 2019 budget up to 4.5 billion ringgit. That's just from the government. But if there is a model that we can capitalize, so to speak, there are at least 5 banking institutions who's prepared to assist in terms of getting fund to invest into existing company that is already operating, that's already exporting goods to Europe. So something that we need to look at, and I hope BBI can continue sharing the information with us through perhaps to SME Corp, Mr. Azmi, and also to our ministry official, so that we can target those projects that give a realistic outcome with least risk for both parties.
Before you give the word to our guest from Malaysia, this morning our colleague Mr. Nejad Gušić, Head of Investment, held a presentation on specific companies, but you were opening the Halal Carnival in front of BBI Center, so you were not here. And among these projects, one big dairy company in Bosnia, Halal certified, is open for partnership. Top quality dairy products such as milk, cheese, spreads, and everything. So if you mentioned the need for this, and there is an open option for investment, and they have high quality equipment and technology, halal certified, I think the potentials are here. We just need to be, you know, the difference between us managers and entrepreneurs is being brave. If we look at all the risks and wait for all the risks to go away, we would never invest anywhere.
Let's just accelerate that. Accelerate this intent to get it concluded as soon as possible. I'm sure there are a lot of investors in Malaysia who would love to come to Bosnia to use this as a gateway to Balkan state and Europe. Yeah, I've just received a note that we are running short of time. Azmi, you want to say something on the SME? I'll give you only 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I think what's important here is to have platforms, communication platforms. Like what we just came back from Bahrain, and with Bahrain, where SME Corp serve as a platform between the Malaysian entrepreneurs and Bahrain, ASEAN Bahrain Council. So I would like to suggest if you have a Bosnia Malaysian Council, so that you can communicate through SME Corp as a platform, so that we could facilitate the activities.
Yeah, well, we can have that. If you don't, I think we have that. There is a platform already that we can communicate, but perhaps we have to enhance our roles, our scope, and pursue this rigorously with more targets, more defined targets, specific targets. As I said, the low-hanging fruits. We need to look at, for example, as BBI, Dino is mentioning, we need to start with at least one acquisition to give the catalyst, to stimulate the entire trading activity that we're looking at as a whole. That will give the catalyst, will stimulate physically for Fly Bosnia to think seriously about having a direct link to Malaysia. If there's no significant activity, then it is not justifiable to just simply airlines flying from Kuala Lumpur to Sarajevo with no passengers, right? So we cannot rely strictly on tourism. Tourism could be seasonal, but we need to have a continuous passage between the two countries, and this can only happen if we have increase in trades, increase in investment, increase of sharing of ideas in terms of innovation and so on, in terms of human capital development and so forth. So therefore, I would encourage, again, for us to share data through the platform that already in existence, I believe, as Azmi mentioned, like the case of our Bahrain conference recently, we have the Bahrain Malaysia Council, so to speak. If we have yet to establish it, I've got to check with my record. If we have yet to establish it, then I think we should establish it quickly, so that we are more regulated in trying to grow the industry. Yeah, and I think Dino said there's one before we close this session up. Got one or two more want to say a few things.
Yes, please. Just two more participants. Mr. Valdet Peštalić from the Halal Certification Agency, one of our partners for the Halal Fair. If you can just be brief, 2 minutes, please.
Thank you. Zahvaljujem se organizatorima na mogućnosti da nešto kažemo na ovom okruglom stolu.
Thank you for the organizers for giving us chance to say something on this event.
Ono što je bitno napomenuti, a to je da Bosna i Hercegovina kao i Malezija su pioniri na svjetskom i na evropskom nivou u oblasti halala.
What is important to mention that Bosnia and Herzegovina and Malaysians are pioneers in the halal industry, global halal industry.
Malezija je prva na svijetu izradila halal standard.
Malaysia has developed in the world first halal standard.
A Bosna i Hercegovina je to prva učinila u Evropi, znači odmah nakon Malezije.
And Bosnia has done it in Europe after the Malaysia.
Također se zalažemo za ovu inicijativu da nemamo višestruke certifikate na svjetskom nivou.
We are also focusing on the international level that there is no need for a double certification and in the same country.
I vrlo se neprijatno osjećamo kada smo akreditirani od strane JAK-ima i imamo međusobno priznanje od EJAK-a i međusobno priznanje sa JAK-imom i onda se pojavi neko iz Singapura i kaže, pa ste, to kod nas ne važi.
We feel so angry when we have accreditation from EJAK, Emirates International Accreditation Center, and we are recognized by JAKIM, then someone comes from Singapore and says like you are not accepted.
Dakle, mi želimo jedinstvene standarde na nivou čitavog svijeta.
We want united standard in the world.
Aktivni smo član SIMIK-a, Instituta za standardizaciju i metrologiju islamskih zemalja.
We are active member of SIMIC, Standardization and Metrology Institute for Islamic countries.
Možda smo čak i hiperaktivni.
Maybe we are hyperactive.
Pa zato smo i dobili zadatak da izradimo svjetski halal standard za turizam i ugostiteljstvo. Znači Bosna i Hercegovina, odnosno naša agencija je dobila tu čast i taj zadatak.
Because of that we are focused, we got the assignment to develop halal standard for tourism and hospitality.
Izuzetno smo zainteresirani za saradnju sa Malezijom u oblasti naučno-istraživačkog rada i razvoju halal biznisa.
We are also looking forward for collaboration with Malaysian institutes in scientific research as well as development of new technologies and as well as business.
Dakle, kako novih tehnologija u oblasti industrije, isto tako i novih tehnologija u oblasti kontrole halal proizvoda i usluga.
Development of new technologies in food industries as well as monitoring and controlling those industries.
Bile su izuzetno zanimljivi prijedlozi prije nekih 10-ak godina da Bosna i Malezija zajednički u Bosni i Hercegovini pokrenu projekat halal poslovnog parka.
There were one interesting idea from 10 years ago that between Malaysia and Bosnia to develop halal hub in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Nadamo se da će to u nekom narednom periodu, ako Bog da, biti realizirano, ne ostati samo ideja.
We hope that will be realized, not just idea.
Bosna i Hercegovina može biti izuzetna platforma za investicije malezijske, ali isto je tako za plasman malezijskih proizvoda na evropsko tržište.
Bosnia can be really good for investments as well as for the sending the products from Malaysia to Europe.
Voljeli bismo da jedna, možda prva u jugoistočnoj Evropi, rafinerija palminog ulja bude u Bosni i Hercegovini i da onda snabdijevamo i BiH tržišta i tržište jugoistočne Evrope.
We would love that one of the largest on Southeast Europe factory for palm oil to be in Bosnia, so we can share and distribute to other countries.
To je jedan od načina kako nam možete pomoći, a da i mi pomognemo vama.
That's the one of the way how can we help each other.
Također, što se tiče same autoindustrije, mislim da mi u Bosni i Hercegovini najbolje proizvodimo halal kožne preslake za automobile.
For automotive industry, I think in Bosnia we produce the best quality halal seats for the cars.
I naravno, voljeli bismo da kada Malezijci dolaze na hadž i umru, da nakon toga produže i da 7 dana proborave u Bosni i Hercegovini, jer onda im to nije tako daleko.
We would like that all Malaysians come for the Hajj and Umrah, and after that they will come to Bosnia for 7 days.
I još tri simpatične stvari, samo sitno.
And 3 more
za naše goste iz Malezije.
For the guests from Malaysia.
Bosanci su posljednji narod na svijetu koji je kolektivno primio islam.
Bosnians are the last people who accepted in Islam in the world.
Bosanci jedini na svijetu u svoj naziv Bošnjaci imaju pridjev dobri.
Bosnians, in the name of the Bosnians, there is a synonym saying good, dobri, means good.
1991. godine, kada se u Sjedinjenim Američkim Državama proizvodio Apple IIc, u Bosni i Hercegovini se proizvodio Iris 16, bolji kompjuter od Apple IIc.
In 1991, when Apple II was developing in US, in the Bosnia they were developing what? This is the first time that Iris 16, it's computer, some kind of computer.
Dakle, tada smo bili u tome najbolje na svijetu, nažalost, rat nas je zaustavio na tom putu.
We were the best in the world in that time, but war stopped us.
Ali znajte da imamo kako prirodne resurse, isto tako i ono što je vrlo bitno, veoma kvalitetne ljudske resurse, da ako Bog da radimo velike projekte.
We have natural resources as well as human resources. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, can I just wrap up one more?
Just one more. We have a gentleman coming from the energy industry and interested in exploring potentials with Malaysia. So please, 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this table. I'm very honored. I am Jasenko Sarajlic. I work for a general engineering company in Sarajevo. We are highly specialized in electrical engineering with portfolio and experience in over 45 countries in the world, including Indonesia and China and the Far East. So as we know, there's lots of potential in Malaysia, especially in renewable energy. And we were wondering, are there any opportunity for Bosnian companies to work in the energy sector, and what might be the obstacles in this road? Thank you.
Okay, let me wrap up this roundtable discussion, so to speak. Can I have consensus here that I'm putting forward a resolution that may want to be adopted during the Sarajevo Business Forum, specific for this roundtable forum? Dari satu lagi pada Swiss Hotel before I wrap up. So do you want me to stay in Swiss Hotel? Okay. Before we wrap up, yeah.
Thank you for His Excellency, and thank you. I would just like, I'm hoping for Fly Bosnia to start flying ASAP, so with that being said, Swiss Hotel and Novotel will be packed up. Thank you.
All right, let me wrap up. Number one, the resolution that I want to put together as a draft resolution to be endorsed by the Malaysian government. We're going to move forward, number one, establishment of direct linkage from Sarajevo to Kuala Lumpur. Number two, to collaborate. Okay? The consolidation of all efforts into making halal certification as one unit for the world to accept. We don't want to hear anymore, for example, Bosnian halal cannot be accepted in Singapore, right? So we don't want to hear anymore, halal from Argentina cannot be accepted into Malaysia because it doesn't carry JAKIM. So therefore, we will making effort. In fact, just to give you the lead, that recently I'm one of the permanent member council of the halal in Malaysia, and we have adopted a resolution to start elevating JAKIM and any other collaborative partner to form an international standard organization for halal. Meaning thereby, if it is one international standard organization originating from Bosnia, it's accepted anywhere else in the world. That's what we want to do. No longer JAKIM, no longer South African, no longer Australian, no longer Argentina as individual accreditation body, but we're going to have one single certification. Yeah? Okay, just three more, and we will explore further on the collaboration for agriculture. Number four, we want to look at cross-investment into Bosnia from investors from Malaysia to look at existing company that's already exporting in Europe. Number five, we are talking about automotive. We would like you to consider to accept the first batch of Proton cars. It's X70. We'll bring up to the government of Malaysia for you to start selling X70 into the Balkan state market. And I think that's not too much to consume today, but I think good enough. As Dino said, we need to walk the talk and have an outcome in 5 to 6 months. Is that consensus on this roundtable?
Excellent.
Yes? Well done. And I understand His Excellency Mr. Amir Zukic has to leave this forum, and I must thank for his participation, and I must thank for his input, and I must thank for his aspiration for Malaysian and Bosnia to increase relationship into bilateral trade agreement, if you want to call it, or to increase the volume of trades between the two countries. We need to share data. Mr. Dino, we need to share data to get this done quickly. We will share data with you in terms of what is the requirement for Malaysia and also the requirement for Greater Asia, if you want to call it. With you, with the data that you have, what are the requirement for Bosnia and Balkan and the Greater Europe, if you want to call it. So with that exchange information and data, hope we can quickly increase our trade volume between the two countries. Yeah. Now with that, Mirza will do that. Oh, not Dino. Oh, of course, Mirza akan buat. He's already a Malaysian.
Tak ada masalah, boleh.
Boleh?
Dah.
So anyway, again, Your Excellency, thank you very much. We look forward to discuss with you further and what we discussed, what we have resolved today, and hopefully, and I'm coming here in June, late June, to pursue this, and we are serious about it, inshallah, through the Turkish organized Origin event. They call it Origin, I think. They're going to have a conference here in late June. And they have invited me to come to Sarajevo. And definitely I'll make sure I come by to revisit the issues that we have just discussed today in the roundtable. With that, I must say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. We'll see you again next year, or otherwise in June, as early as 24th to 26th June 2019. Thank you.
I've noticed massive exchanging of contact cards. This means we did it well. Thank you, Your Excellency, for taking lead in this third and last for today panel. And thanks to all participants, to all panelists. I would kindly invite you here on the stage so we can make a photo.
Okay.
Yeah. Or selfie. Be progressive, let's make selfie. Dino, are you willing to make one?
Come, let's go.
It's photo call time. Take your positions. Put your smile on. While everybody is taking their positions, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being with us on the second day of the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum. Hope you created good connections today, but don't forget we're together tomorrow as well. So I announce the third day of 10 SBF. Tomorrow we start with our exciting program at 9 o'clock. Same place, different, but still, as I said, exciting program of the third day of the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum. Gentlemen, you're still in a good shape. This stage managed to carry you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, all panelists. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow on the third day of the 10th Sarajevo Business Forum. It was such a pleasure to spend the day with all of you. Thank you.